You're listening to WayJ, Grand Junction's OG Waylon Jordan, with on-demand content from Town Square Media's 99.9 KEKB in Grand Junction, Colorado. You're listening to WayJ, Grand Junction's OG Waylon Jordan, with on-demand content from Town Square Media's 99.9 KEKB in Grand Junction, Colorado. The Grand Valley's number one for new country, 99.9 KEKB. It's Waylon with on-demand content for Town Square Media in Grand Junction, Colorado. Today, we're going to be chatting with Draven. Now, he is part of a fascinating team doing big things. Now, this team is made up of students right here in Western Colorado. They're called the High Fives. So, Draven, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So, the High Fives, Team 4944, what do you do?
Well, we are a robotics team, nonprofit, STEM-based, with lots of outreach. We have members, as you said, from, primarily all over the valley, but...
Now, you yourself, you're a freshman at Grand Junction High School.
Yes.
You're a young person, and you're building robots.
Yeah.
Okay? Well, first of all, STEM, science, technology, math...
Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, yes.
Okay, STEM program. Students from all over the valley, you have come together. Your Team 4944, you have built, literally, a robot named...
Princess Waffles.
And what does Princess Waffles do?
Well, she's designed to play this year's game, Charged Up. Our robot can pick up cubes and cones, score them at different elevations, and can engage with a game piece known as the charge station, and all to work to gain us the most amount of points.
I say again, Draven is a freshman at Grand Junction High School. So the team, the High Fives, you've built Princess Waffles. You competed recently where you won an award. What award did you win?
We won the Engineering Inspiration Award. It's an award that celebrates outstanding success in advancing respect and appreciation for engineering with a team's school or organization and community.
Now, you competed against a lot of teams here recently. The Highlanders, Wired Up, just a whole bunch of teams. You've picked up this award, so you're moving on down the road. You go into what's next, and what's next is Houston. What's going on in Houston?
That would be our Worlds competition.
That's coming up April 19th through the 22nd. What's going to happen there?
Well, we're going to be competing against a much larger group of teams, going from like 40 to 50 teams to hundreds across the world. It's going to be a much more difficult challenge compared to the usual regionals that we partake in.
To even begin building a robot, somebody somewhere in your group has at least a background in electrical, engineering.
Yes.
Let's see, what else am I thinking of? Mechanical engineering to some degree. What is your specialty, for example?
Well, I'm currently on the programming team I've been helping out with like making the robot move and be able to do stuff during an auto phase where we, the people, don't actually control it. The robot moves itself. So I've been helping primarily with that. But I have helped a little with putting together the robot itself and designing the robot.
How many people on your team, the High Fives? I almost want to say 5, but...
I think it's around like between 15 and 20 range, I think.
Okay. So the High Fives, Team 4944, which leads me to believe that there are a whole bunch of teams. So anyway, you competed.
Yeah.
Houston, you caught the attention of Houston. So as you move to the next round, there's a registration fee. That's understandable. It is significant. And Houston steps up to the plate, and they've helped you out. Is that correct? Excuse me, not Houston, but NASA, I mean to say.
Yeah, that they have paid for our entry fee, which is actually pretty large. We still need to fundraise for the actual travel expenses themselves and for any improvements we plan on making to the robot between now and heading to Worlds.
Oh, so you're still working on the robot even though the competition's 2 weeks away.
Yeah, we take all the time we can to make sure our bot is as good as it can be.
So you learned things at this last competition. You picked up on some new info.
Yes.
And you're implementing that right now. Before you leave April 19th for Houston. I see. All right. So this is a work in constant motion right here. How did the Grand Junction Business Incubator factor in?
They give us the space to build our robot and to actually work. They give us the space to build the robot and actually implement. So we aren't just, it's it's good to actually have a space where we can work on the robot without work on the robot consistently.
So you have a dedicated space where you're able to continue working.
Yes.
You're not having to constantly relocate and start from scratch. That's wonderful. Another kudos going out to the Grand Junction Business Incubator. So the trip is coming up. Obviously, you're going to run into some expenses. So there's this season, and you've already mentioned there's going to be a season next year that you're already prepping for. But let's get you to Houston, because we're down to about 2 weeks here. What do we need to do between now and then to make the trip possible?
Well, we get any donations through our website and asking various companies for money to help us go on these trips.
Okay, the website would be high5robotics.com. hi5robotics.com. One sponsor you already have, Chevron has helped you out already with a donation, I take it?
Yes,
So Chevron's donated for the entire season? Mm-hmm. So big kudos going out to Chevron. A lot of people making this happen, aren't there? Some good people out there. If we can talk about fundraising for next season, obviously this is a work that just continues and continues. You have a golf tournament coming up Saturday, May 13th, 2023. Where's it going to be held at?
It will be held at the Adobe Creek National Golf Course in Fruita.
Okay, so you can put together your team. A 4-person team, registration's $425? Is that $475? Put your team together, go out there, have a whole bunch of fun. This will be going to send these students, for their work for next season. So check out high5robotics.com. I'd encourage you to put together a team. That actually sounds like a tremendous amount of fun. It's going to a great cause. What if somebody wants to sponsor a hole? Can they do that?
Yes, they can, for $250.
As we roll, I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves here, but as we prepare for next season, will work continue on the same robot, or do you start from scratch?
We will be starting from scratch.
Is that a requirement for the competition?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's a requirement because the game changes every year. It doesn't stay the same throughout each. It doesn't stay the same throughout each season. So.
So when you say the game, can you kind of give us a little bit of an idea how this game unfolds?
Yeah, this year's game is charged up. Teams will design their robots to score cones and cubes in their community, scoring at low, middle, and high elevations, gaining more points the higher up you go. During a match, there are 2 alliances, both with 3 teams on them, and alliance members must work together to score as many game pieces as they possibly can. There's also a game object known as the charge station. Both alliances get one, and it's a platform that robots will load themselves onto, typically near the end of the match, as it gives extra points. Robots can either dock with the charge station, which is simply ending the match on the charge station, or they can engage with it, which is ending the match on top of the charge station while it is fully level with the floor, which gives more points than simply docking.
What I gather from that, when we talk about robots, there's a certain level of autonomy here. You're not just controlling them. These are functioning independently, sovereign units, am I correct?
Oh, yes. During the first 15 seconds of every match, robots will act autonomously.
When I was in high school, a freshman in high school, we weren't building robots. We weren't doing a whole lot of anything. So this is absolutely extraordinary. Again, Draven here, a freshman at Grand Junction High School. You have roughly between 15 and 20 people on your team. The high fives. Big things are going to be going on here in the next little bit. Heading off to Houston in just barely 2 weeks, not a whole lot of time. Still working on the robot as we speak, prepping for that and getting ready for the next season, at which time you got to start completely from scratch. May I ask why you're doing all this? It sounds like a tremendous amount of work.
Well, it's, for one, it's a lot of fun, but that's not primarily why we do it. It is to teach not only engineering and programming skills, but also business, marketing, media, and other sets of practical skills, from knowing how to CAD or use a computer-aided design to wiring and how to use various tools in a machine shop. So it's a huge learning experience.
Well, it is, and it's listening to you, it sounds like you're having fun. So what's the big picture for you? You're going to stay with this? Is this your career trajectory here?
I do plan on sticking with the team until graduation, because that is as long as you can stay, but it's helping me prep for getting into a prestigious school like MIT.
Well, so you're right now a high school freshman, Grand Junction High School, and you already have your sights set on the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. You're here, you're looking at that down the road, and you're working right that way. In other words, you have a plan.
Yeah.
You're a 16-year-old young man. How old are you?
14.
14?
Yeah.
And you've got a plan like that, so you're an extraordinary young man, if I may say.
It's what I've been told a lot.
Okay, well, you've earned it. So again, this is Draven with the high fives. He's a freshman at Grand Junction High School, making his way to Houston. Going to compete. What is the competition again? Coming up in 2 weeks?
Awards competition.
Okay, and it's been a long road from where you started to here. I wish you great luck. I'm going to do everything I can to help you out with that fundraising. Check out their webpage, www.high5robotics.com. That's HI5robotics.com. I wish you very well at the competition. I hope to see you at the golf tournament, and good luck to you.
Thanks.
Thank you. This is On Demand Content with Town Square Media in Grand Junction, Colorado.